Hey guys, it's Measley. With patch 7.3 being out for a while, I thought I'd put together a class order haul guide that's updated with the new changes. One thing to keep in mind is that you'll have to quest through Argus to be able to unlock the new troops as well as the new missions for 7.3. That being said, I think it's very much worth it to take your alts through Argus, as the new missions give a ton of gold. Not only do gold missions appear more frequently, the amount of gold they give has also increased. Now I'm gonna do a quick overview of the class order haul, which will include both basic information from Legion's launch to the patch 7.3 updates. First, I'm gonna go over champions. They each have one specialization which determines what type of boss they can counter, and there are 3 specs for each class, and one champion can have one of these 3 specs. Each champion also has 2 abilities with various effects such as increasing mission chance for certain types of missions. Next, I'm going to talk about threats. So each mission has 1 to 3 threats which you'll have to counter, with at least one being a boss or an Argus elite. Bosses are countered by specializations, and Argus elites are countered by the new 7.3 troops. There are 3 other types of threats that are countered by abilities: hazard, minion, and spell. So each threat will then come with one of 5 negative effects: powerful, which reduces success chance; slowing, which doubles the mission time; disorienting, which doubles the mission cost; cursed, which disables bonus loot; and lethal, which kills your troops by depleting all of their stamina. So bosses and Argus elites are always powerful, so you should try to counter these as much as possible. While other threats are random, they can also be powerful, or one of the other 4. The best way to maximize your success chance would be to prioritize countering powerful and cursed. Lethal and disorienting are less important, but still matter if you want to save your order haul resources. Slowing is interesting because you can deliberately leave it uncountered to trigger the above 8-hour equipment bonuses. So the ideal champion setup would be to counter bosses as consistently as you can, so in order to do that, you'll need 2 of each specialization. So in addition to specializations, you'll also want 2 of each counter ability to account for the rest of the threats. Lastly, your patch 7.3 new troops will help you counter Argus elites, and there's no need to customize anything there. Now, an exception to having the 2 of each configuration of champions would be to have Morose and or Meatball to replace 1 or 2 of your champions. So here I'm showing off Meatball. He's actually an amazing champion to have because of his burp ability, which gives you essentially these tokens that you can increase your mission success chance with. So here I'm demonstrating the tokens called Strange Balls of Energy, and each token can increase your mission success chance by 20%, and you can apply it to each of your champions or troops that go on a mission. The way to get Meatball is basically to participate in the Brawl Arena and then do the class order haul missions that pop up. And next up we have Morose, who's also quite a versatile champion, and he is a drop from the new revamped Karazhan. Now, getting back to the Argus topic, there are 3 new troops that you can recruit. Each can be unlocked after doing a series of quests. And the cool thing about these new troops is that each of them, in addition to countering the Argus elites, they also counter one of hazard, minion, or spells, respectively. First you have the Krokro Ridge Stalker, which increases chances with hazards. Then you have the Lightforged Bulwark, which increases success chance with minions. And last but not least, you have the Void Purge Krokro, which increases chances with spell missions. You can recruit once per week on the weekly reset for 150 resources each, but if you'd like to recruit more during that week, they cost 900 each. So now let's get to the champion equipment. Interestingly, the new 7.3 equipment pretty much phases out most of the old equipment. To unlock these, you'll mainly be doing new class order haul missions. Most notably, there's a new type of gear that increases success chance with either minions, hazards, or spells. These are the best in my opinion because you're basically adding even more success chance to champions who already counter a specific threat. I'll get into more detail later with an example. Another thing to note is that the short duration increased equipment has been buffed to less than 8 hours instead of less than 4 hours. So now you get success chance as long as the mission is less than 8 hours, which is double than what it was before. This type of gear couples well with champions or order hall talents that reduce mission duration. And if you're constantly farming order hall resources, you can then pair this with the reduced mission duration equipment as well. While this makes a pretty strong combo, the beauty of the order hall is that there isn't really a specific one-size-fits-all answer of equipment choices. For example, for somebody who doesn't need that much artifact power, they don't have to focus so much on mission duration reducing gear. And next up we can discuss legendaries a bit. Actually, legendaries from pre-patch 7.3 have pretty much been phased out as well by even the rare or epic Legion 7.3 gear. However, there are also new legendaries that came with 7.3 that are still yet much stronger than anything else. Unfortunately, I don't think you can get these from the free Nether Disruptor legendary. Here, let me show you a demonstration of how I geared one of my champions. First up, I have the Sanctified Armament of the Light, which increases success chance below 8 hours, and this combos really well with my ability Stormbreaker's Assault, which reduces mission duration. For other champions, you can go for the above 8 hour equipment. Next up, I have Light Burst Charge, which increases success chance with missions with minions, and this combos well with my Chain Lightning, which counters minions. This means that for missions with minions, I'll be using my Stormcaller Milra anyway, and so it's like a double counter to minions essentially. And sometimes this will allow even one champion to completely 200% one mission, which is really crazy. So the last item I like to use is just flat success chance for versatility. The epic version of this gives 30%. Another viable option would be to use mission duration reduction if you have the order hall resources to keep up with chaining missions. Lastly, I wanted to mention that the item that increases success chance when pairing with troops has not received an upgraded counterpart in patch 7.3. It's one of my old favorites, but it's simply not strong anymore. Here, as you can see, with a single champion you can potentially 200% a mission, if you manage to nail both counters. If not, oftentimes pairing it up with an Argus troop would be enough. Next, I want to briefly bring up Bodyguard equipment. Patch 7.3 hasn't actually introduced any new Bodyguard equipment, so I just continue using my old setup from patch 7.2. Personally, I like to focus on order hall resources, while other people like to focus on gold, so it's ultimately up to you. There's no right answer here. Coming up, I'm gonna go over the class order hall talents really quick. Your main objective should be to maximize mission success chance. Keep in mind that not all classes have the same order hall talents, but there's a pretty general flow that each class kinda adheres to. So for the first two tiers, you want to focus on success chance unless you're hunting for a hidden artifact appearance on certain classes. For tier 3, unless you're just starting out, you generally want to get the additional troop. Then for tier 4, definitely get the upgraded greater troop, not the lesser troop. Then tier 5 is a little bit of a toss-up. If your class has access to the bombing of 1 world quest a day, definitely go with that. Otherwise, it's pretty much up to personal choice. I prefer getting an extra troop for even more success chance, but the Seal of Broken Fate can be pretty important to certain people. Keep in mind that without taking this talent, you can still get Seals of Broken Fate with gold, order hall resources, or even marks of honor. And sometimes even the Nether Disruptor. Finally, for tier 7, definitely get the extra champion. It's a lot more versatile in my opinion than the additional troop. Now for the bonus section. Quick tip. Always use the minimum amount of resources to complete a mission. Use the minimum number of champions and troops, and also use the cheapest troops that you can to maximize your success chance. For example here, instead of using my greater troop, I can simply slot in a cheaper, lesser troop, as long as I maintain my 200%. Sometimes your add-ons may not optimize this for you, so be careful. This is even more true if you're using the Legion Companion app on your smartphone. The next tip I have for you is that you can actually use Bloods of Sargeras to sustain your order hall. So at the trader, you get 200 order hall resources per Blood of Sargeras. And basing the math on this, the new Argus missions actually give more Bloods of Sargeras than the cost of order hall resources. Here, after making sure I counter disorienting, the total cost is 1,800 Order Hall resources for 12 Bloods of Sargeras. And since 12 Bloods of Sargeras equals 2,400 Order Hall resources, we actually have a net gain of 600 Order Hall resources. Also, the Order Hall resources caches can be mailed to your other characters on the same realm, so you can actually sustain other characters with a main. And obviously, you can also just use your Bloods of Sargeras for crafting. If you're one of the classes that can nuke a world quest, I have a priority list for maintaining Order Hall resources with that alt. The best missions to go for Order Hall resources is 4 and above Bloods of Sargeras, because we know that 1 Blood of Sargeras equals 200 resources. Next, I go for missions with 600 to 700 Order Hall resources. Of those, the best would be from the Broken Shore, because they would also give you Legion Fall war supplies. If none of these show up, you can just go for the 300 to 400 Order Hall resources quests, preferably the PvP quests, because getting honor levels also gives you additional rewards. If you don't need the Order Hall resources, you can always use the nuke to get gear, and if you've unlocked Argus, Veiled Argonite for gear, rep tokens, and even Primal Sargerite. And that concludes my guide. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys around. Peace out.